like butter. What is up, guys? This is a little bit different style video for me. Gonna do an underwater video. I'm at the in-laws for Mother's Day, and if you are some woman who's a mother watching underwater bass lures, then happy Mother's Day. But for the rest of y'all, we're gonna take advantage of the pool back there behind me and film some underwater stuff. I asked my buddy, said, hey Joe, what do you want to see underwater? He said jigs and crawl trailers. So we're gonna run through different types of jigs. I've got a homemade hand pour soft plastic that I want to try underwater too. See how that looks, and we'll do it. Okay, so some of the trailers we're going to use. This is a beaver style trailer. This is Big Bite Baits Yo Mama. It's a 3-inch beaver style. Looks like crawfish. Beaver style. We're going to do a Berkeley Havoc Pit Boss. This is one of my favorite ones. That is, creature beaver, somewhere in between. Really flops really well. Got a lot of dancing around with that. Your traditional crawfish. I don't remember the brand of that. Came in a mystery tackle box. I like it. Pretty cool. I had to make my own mold of it because I don't remember what kind it is. And a Zoom speed crawl. I like those as well. Jigs. We've got, your regular pitching jig, football jig. I'll do a swim jig. Then Ned rig, finesse. And pitching, flipping, football, finesse, archy, all that. The first one we got here is like a pitching, flipping style jig. It is the, what is it? Looks like the Berkeley Havoc Pit Boss. This one I've had a lot of success with on the jig, Texas rigging it, Carolina rigging it, swimming it, dragging it, pitching it, flipping it, a little bit of everything. Very versatile. You can tell, where is it at here? There it comes. It does a lot of flapping, a lot of kicking, swimming going on there, and when it stands up, it does pretty good too. Pretty versatile as far as stuff in this category goes, because if you're working it fast, it swims a lot. If you're working it slow, those different appendages do a lot of kind of floating around, movement in the water there without you having to do a whole lot. It's got a nice fat body to it, pretty durable, and then it it casts pretty good, punches through stuff pretty well. It's pretty versatile in every situation, so I like this one. So here we switched over to this is a finesse jig head from Z-Man. This is their Z-Man Shrooms. I've seen these skirted and not skirted. It's got 2 wire brush guards on it. Now the big reason that I don't like this and don't use it that much is I think the wire brush guard is a heavier gauge than the actual hook is. It stands up kind of well. It's for this kind of high pressure situations. Whenever you've been Ned rigging. The skirted one I like to use with like a crawfish trailer. The trailer on this is the Big Bite Baits 3-inch Yo Mama. I picked these up when we were fishing the Santa Fe River for Swanee bass. It's a little smaller presentation. They got a smaller mouth, smaller fish. When it stands up, it looks great. This is, it's a good trailer for that kind of finesse presentation. It's not going to do a whole lot of kicking and swimming like the one before, the Havoc Pit Boss does. It's really good whenever you're just kind of popping it around real tight to cover, trying to stand it up. I like it. Not a giant fan of the jig head, but I do like the trailer on this one. So this is a 1/2 ounce football jig with like your standard kind of crawfish trailer. Now I can't remember the brand of this because the trailer came in a mystery tackle box, actually when they did the punching rig. It stands up really great. I like how it imitates that defensive posture really well. I lost all of its green color because it's floating around in my truck and tackle box forever. You'll see whenever you kind of popping it and it stands up, it really imitates that defensive posture of crawfish. Dragging it, not so much, but kind of popping it looks really good like crawfish. I had to pour my own mold of it because I can't remember the brand. I could probably look it up though and get some new ones, but I like that one a lot for imitating crawfish. A little different end of the spectrum on jig and trailer here. This is a 6 cents Divine swim jig. in a shag color with a Biospawn Exo Swim. That's another one that I got out of a mystery tackle box. I like the Biospawn Exo Swim on this, and I also like it if you're doing like a lighter colored chatterbait, and it's a good paddle tail trailer. You know, that Biospawn stuff's usually got like a bunch of little ribs and goofy looking stuff in it, but whenever it's, you know, if you're looking at it still, they look crazy, but if you're looking at it while they're swimming with motion, looks great. It's got a good paddle to it, kicks around a lot, nice thin paddle. That's where it gets a lot of that kind of swimming action with it. 6 Sense has a real realistic looking head to it. Good combination here. I like using both of these, or really any paddle tail you put on the back of it works great, and then that paddle tail also works great on the back like a chatterbait too. Good combination here. Its color combination is really good around like shad spawn. You catch them busting a bunch of shad, or throwing up in any lighter colored bait fish. That's where this works really well. Swimming around cover docks, any of that stuff too. But really, if you can find schooling bait and toss this in there, that's whenever I like it. Here we have your standard Ned rig. This came in a kit from Bass Pro Shops. I can't remember the brand name in it. Might have been Chompers or Bass Pro brand. It's either one of those usually with their kits. Comes with probably 6 jig heads, different sizes. It's your standard kind of finesse jig Ned rig head. It's a lighter gauge hook, lighter weight, and they give you anywhere from like 3 to 6 inch trailers with them. I think they even give you some cut tail worms with them too. So you're going to use this in those high pressure situations. I don't do it a ton. I'm going to try to do it more in the summertime this year whenever they start slowing down, and you almost have to fish it like winter then. They're going to hold tight to cover. They start going back out deep then too. I plan on using it whenever it gets hot and they get on docks real tight, and they get, water temp here gets up into the 90s, so they get kind of lethargic when that happens, and that's whenever this kind of thing's going to shine. Here's one that I have not used in a while. I kind of forgot about it, so I found one floating around in the tackle box. This is back to like a pitching, flipping style jig head, but this is a Zoom speed crawl. Now there's 2 types of Zoom speed crawls. This one is the super speed crawl. There's a U-Vibe speed crawl. This one's super speed crawl. Got a lot more flap to it, swims like crazy. You don't have to do a whole lot to get a whole lot of action out of this thing. Seeing it underwater makes me go, man, I need to pick up some more of those. I kind of like this one more than I remembered. Now, if you were going to do this on something other than a jig head, you can see there it looks really good swimming straight too. If you're going to do it on something other than a jig head, I would probably recommend this for like punching, because it's got a real slender body to it other than the claws. The rest of it's pretty sleek body to it underneath the skirt there, so you could probably punch with it really well. And as you're jigging it up and down undercover, it's going to do a whole lot of flap and get a whole lot of attention. This is another one that yeah, I'm kind of glad that I did this one here, because like I said, I forgot about it. Probably going to use this one a lot more this year. This is a little bit different style video for me, like I said, branching out, doing something different. Luckily, I get along with my in-laws great. We could do this more. Let me know if you guys like this kind of video. If you want to see anything specific underwater, let me know, and we can do it. It's something different than me just sitting there fishing. So we could definitely do some more of these if you guys like it. So this last one here is the new Speed Snake. This is a homemade hand pour lure. You might see some more of this coming up whenever I perfect the mold on it, use a little bit more, kind of test it out. Not a whole lot to say about it right now because it's a secret. It's deadly. I don't know. I've used a little bit, like it. We'll work on it a little bit. But yeah, let me know if you want to see any more of these kind of video, guys, and we can do them. Y'all take it easy.